Hello. Test some areas again. Still doing a cold open because we haven't been bothered to think of an intro package yet. Any ideas? Please get in touch. Please, anyone. We're lonely. Anyway, welcome to. Well, currently we're at Newark Northgate, but we did say that we would go around cities, and Newark is not, to the best of my knowledge, a city.
Oh no, it's not. I thought he was talking about Lincoln.
Right. See, this is how this is going to go. Jen is back with me, and once again, she's going to try and tell me I'm wrong. And as you will have learned from the first episode, she is wrong. Anyway, we are off to Lincoln. We're completely underprepared.
We're not. I know loads about Lincoln, which I'm definitely not just reading on my phone. My chin looks really bad from that angle. I'm going to crouch.
Okay, so last time you had the station announcer saying every time what stop we were at. This time you're going to get trains going past. Anyway, yeah, we're off to Lincoln. We don't know what we're going to do yet, but we are going to try and go up the big steep hill and see whether big steep hills are wheelchair friendly. Spoiler alert, probably not. And then
it is literally called Steep Hill.
And then we're going to do some other stuff, and Jen will probably interrupt me a lot. Hello, pensive-looking Jen. Why are you looking pensive?
Because we're at Collingham Station. I don't know where that is. I definitely don't have a spot, which is why I'm doing this face.
Okay. Well, as our chief tour guide for places that we don't have a clue about, what can you tell us about Lincoln and what we might do while we're here?
I know plenty about Lincoln, but I might have just topped up on the Wikipedia page to learn a bit more about this historic city. Obviously, the main tourist attraction is Lincoln Cathedral, which we are going to visit, not because we have a fetish for cathedrals, but because it's kind of the only major tourist attraction there, and also, we didn't do such a great job of actually going into the cathedral last time, so, we're going to get it right this time. But, some of the other things I have learned about Lincoln in my Wikipedia fest are that Lincoln Cathedral used to be the tallest building in the world for over 200 years. Good fact. So, there was... Sorry, I'm not laughing about typhoid. There's a typhoid epidemic in the early 20th century, which is very sad. I'm really sorry to anyone whose life's been touched. It has a professional wrestling academy, as well as I think they're in the league now, so they might be still on league. I think they're league though. Lincoln City Football Club, who are known as the
UTI.
Imps. People do chant UTI up the Imps. And the mute swan is an iconic species for Lincoln. So there are some excellent facts. I'm not going to read out that RAF Washington is the nearest Elf site, but I'm really, really sorry to anyone who has experienced typhoid in their lives.
Well, after what I'm sure you will agree was an entirely professional and informative display of factual knowledge, yes, and typhoid sensitivity, I feel that you may have noticed a strange tea cozy occasionally appear in the shot. It's probably only right that we point out at this point that there is a third person, and let him introduce himself. Oh dear. Then weirdo.
I mean, first of all, I think person's a fairly strong word, but yeah, I'm Mouse or Tom if you want a real name, but why would you do that? Yeah, I'm local pusher, rounder and snapper of Zarte's foot plates. I do things, sometimes countdown, which is why I know these idiots, and also I represent the mighty nation of Yorkshire, so...
Carry on without swearing now, please.
But let's find out. Yeah, also since this whole thing seems to be about disabilities apparently, I don't know, I've just been dragged on here. Jen seems to be hamming up her RSI. I should note that I am autistic, I do have a mental disability, and I'm fully blaming that on everything I do as a complete liability. Every damage to Zarte and or his wheelchair, and just everything. I just take no responsibility because that's who I am as a person and or rodent.
So far, we're on our second, well actually technically we're on our third, but the first one was tiny so it didn't count. We're on our second train to get to Lincoln. This one is really small, but the staff have all been absolutely lovely. We've had no issues at all. We even had a lovely member of the Virgin Trains team who on the platform not only helped us go along but actually gave us a couple of useful ideas that we might be able to use for future videos. We didn't get his name, but we think he might be like a bit of a waste to sort of his role when he's got so many good ideas about how to do things like YouTube videos and apps and infographics. The guy was seriously helpful on several levels. The train before that, on the other hand, I don't really feel qualified to discuss on the basis that I couldn't really see it. We'll kind of flash up an image to let you know why, and then, because I have to be the sensible one, I'll let Jen rant. Off you go, Jen.
So I got on the train from London to Newark, and these guys joined me at Peterborough. Now, I went up the entire length of the train, once, twice, and only found one place for disabled people to get on a giant train, Virgin trains going to Edinburgh. One accessible place on an entire train is really not great, to be honest. I didn't realise just how not great it was until Zarte got on, but even before then I noticed there were two guys who sat at the companion seat and blocking off. Then by the time Zarte got on the train, it took 5 minutes of moving people's errant luggage so that he could actually get to the disabled bit. And because these guys were sitting at the companion table, we couldn't sit there, so he was just kind of shunted into a corner, facing out the window, which I suppose is better than the wall, but it's still not really great for having any sort of social interaction. Luckily we were only on there for about half an hour, but it was not great, especially because it took so long to move luggage, and it just led to a bit of a kerfuffle, to be honest. So Virgin sorted out more accessible parts of the train, please. Be a bit more forceful with people who are whose luggage is blocking doorways, or sitting in the companion seats, opposite the disabled sections, and also just make your doorways wider. For God's sake, they were so narrow. Zarte could barely get through even when the luggage was moved. So, and that's for the disabled section. So sort it out. It's really hard not to swear on this one.
Hello again. So we're off the train now. Once again, actually, really good and helpful members of staff. Except for the disabled gate not working. I mean, that's a bit of an issue, that it won't take the tickets. But we'll put that down to an anomaly and not make too big a deal about it. So whilst I may try and film the odd bit, this trip is going to be a little bit different in that we're actually trying to be normal people, and we've got a hotel to check into fairly soon, which means that we have lots of luggage, a lot of which is going to be on my lap as Mouse pushes me around, which means that some of this is going to be filmed by Jen, so you may get a slightly different angle and see things from her perspective looking on my behalf. I think that makes sense. Anyway, so you will still hear plenty from all of us, but more will be filmed by Jen this time. So this is going along Lincoln High Street. I know we liked Canterbury because Canterbury was old and had made an effort. Well, Lincoln seems to be reasonably new and has made an effort because this is incredibly flat. Even the bits that are going a little bit uphill so far have been incredibly flat. We did just, however, go over a drain cover which was loose. That does my nut, but yeah, for the most part, this is going reasonably well. I do recognise, though, that we are going up the high street, and high streets generally are reasonably good in comparison to other things. So we'll keep an eye out. But the signs are looking good. We're in the works. Here's some lovely books. Oh, and what's this? It's a massive shelf. Massive shelf. With no room to get round. Okay, let's try backing off. Okay, now we're backing off, and now we're getting a bit stuck. Oh, and we're hitting the books. Oh, now we're crashing into some boxes. Just taking out those boxes there. Sorry for glimpses of my bag. It is a little hard to film, and yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. So that was the works. The works is, excuse the jittery camera work, probably the single least accessible shop on the planet. Mouse, stop waving. Every single branch of it I have ever been into is utterly atrocious and features at least one moment like that where you physically cannot get a wheelchair around it. Like, I can understand that maybe some branches of some shops will occasionally have an issue and not. How do you manage to cock up as consistently as the works managed to do? I just it baffles me. I can only assume that their budget doesn't extend to shops with room. Right, so in Lincoln, there is a lot of very big hills. Obviously, we're not going to complain about that. You can't really control the topography of a city. However, we would say that actually this is done reasonably well. It's continued to be pretty flat. So far, the only thing that I've actually had an issue with is the works. And to be honest, I have an issue with the works everywhere, so that was just to make a point. But yeah, we're still going reasonably well in terms of how it is for me. However, whilst he vaguely gets his breath back from having pushed me up the start of a hill, we'll talk to Mouse and see how he's found pushing. Right, Mouse, how's it been so far from behind me?
So far, fine. I mean, yeah, I appreciated the little pause there. Like, obviously, I'm not the strongest. I am, you know, hills and stuff can be pretty difficult just because I have no upper body strength. But like, I don't really know what you could do to improve that. To be honest, like, I guess
Lift some weights? So, oh, you meant Lincoln.
exactly. Maybe like little flat bits, but I mean, yeah, there's with someone in like a proper manual wheelchair, because obviously you can get up this yourself, like. You know.
No, I can't.
It's about to get steeper.
Well,
Steep hill is on its way.
Yes,
let's see
we're
if
about
we
to
can
go
handle
up
that.
steep hill, and we're about to find out how well attuned steep hill is to wheelchairs. So wish us luck.
If we'll see you in a bit if we don't end up in hospital from Mouse letting go of Zarte's wheelchair and him crashing all the way back down the entire high street and ending up at the station.
And on that cheerful thought. This is fun.
Are these
Right, back up a bit.
Drop curb, please. Anywhere. drop curb.
I think this is definitely going to give me hemorrhoids. Oh.
Drop curb.
Can you actually get hemorrhoids from being pushed over cobbles?
Well, it's anything that overly makes you tense up around.
Oh, I did not know that. I'm far better informed about hemorrhoids. Oh God.
See, the pavement here is wide enough that you could put it up, but there was no way to get onto the pavement.
Yep, no drop curbs.
Can we try and do? Is that going to work?
I mean,
we need to go somewhere. Try it.
It's a couple of inches.
Ready?
Oh my God.
Right. So, okay, no, right, fine. So let's see if it's a bit better on. I mean, this is reasonably smooth.
yeah.
Once you get on it.
Yeah. But how? I'm sure that it won't be too much effort to put a drop in once you get past.
How are you up?
Gotta love pedestrians.
Alright. So considerate and friendly. That's what it is.
Steep Hill is living up to its name. The cathedral is all the way up there, as you can see. In case you're wondering why Mouse and I are wearing strange headgear, that's not a special thing for this video, we're just a bit weird. Oh dear God. Do we think we're actually going to make it up? Oh my God, look at that.
Oh wow. My forearms. Okay, next bit.
I'm struggling to help you because it's so cold.
Well, luckily I'm definitely being warmed up.
We did check, there is no more accessible route to the cathedral than this, by foot. Not there's like not a massive detour anyway.
You've got a tough job.
Yeah, we knew it's called Steep Hill, but we didn't quite realise how steep.
Yeah, I think
I'm not sure we'll actually make it.
there is a bus that runs up there. Where are you trying to get to?
We're trying to go to the cathedral. We're actually doing a YouTube series about how accessible cities are if you're trying to get to landmarks and stuff. So
Oh right.
we're learning a lot on this one because
I think you are.
the thing is, I did look it up on Google Maps and it looked steep, but not this steep.
Yeah,
So
it gets worse. I mean, you can
oh,
like I said, there is a bus that takes you to the top.
mhm.
I think it's only about through a tree,
Okay.
so that makes it more accessible. But to do it, it's damn hard.
Fab. What's your name? Sorry.
Sorry, it's Jane.
Jane, thank you very much for the
you're
info.
welcome.
Thanks. Well, guys, I think she might have a point. If this is bad, and I mean, look at that. Are we going to say that maybe Lincoln isn't very accessible if you're travelling by foot? If you're trying to go to the cathedral?
No Canterbury.
Yeah. No, this is not Canterbury. Unfortunately, topology is against us today. The cathedral is all the way up there.
Oh.
We are not very far up, so
I think
yeah.
we might be beaten.
I think we might be beaten as well.
Now what?
Bob.
Pub. I'm going to stop filming now.
Okay. Yeah, so we're trying to find a flatter to get down, but cobbles and strangely grit aren't helping. It's cold.
It's not all down here.
Can you move closer?
Yep.
Oh, no, I can't move at all. No.
Need a hen?
We might do on this bit. Oh, hang on.
We've done it. Over there.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you.
Yeah, so it'll be fine. I'll push in a sort of direction of not off. Cheers.
I'm not sure if the citizens of Lincoln are unusually helpful or if it's just because it is so steep and we are struggling so much that people have been so friendly and helpful, but both on camera and off camera people have been really helpful, offering to help and offering bits of advice, local advice that we really need, because yeah, it's a I was about to swear, but stop myself just in time, so I'm learning. It's not great for accessibility, certainly not this route anyway, but you would probably be better getting a bus.
Yeah, one of the citizens recommended going down here rather than the same way because it's slightly shallower.
I'm not necessarily...
Neither am I. I'm also not a big fan of that lamp.
Street lights, yeah.
But...
this is how we learn.
I mean,
I'm a bit concerned about this one. Could we go down this dock?
Probably someone's driveway.
Consider it.
Like a roller coaster.
I don't know if you can hear what he's saying, but Zarte said that he's genuinely quite scared by this. So...
I think I'm just trying to put off going downhill at this point, which means I'm...
I mean, there's drop curbs on the other side, which means you won't have to be on the cobbles. Although, would the cobbles actually not help with like braking and stuff?
I mean, potentially, but there's also a bin down there I can see.
Well, I can move the bin, or Jen can move the bin, like before we hit it.
it's the street light really though, isn't it? That's
no,
the...
if we go on the, if
Oh,
we
the
go
other
on
side. Yeah, there is a bin that is blocking
well,
the
you can
entire
move the bin.
pavement.
It's got wheels, that's what it's made for. We moved a bin in Cambridge like a couple of days ago for the same reason.
Okay, just get past there.
Oh, sorry.
That's it, thank you.
Cheers. Is that you? All like 55 kilograms.
What are we doing? Are we trying to get off the pavement without drop curb?
I'd suggest get onto the other side of the road.
Yeah.
Just go down that pavement.
Right.
You move the bin, Jen.
Okay.
And then see what happens.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but yeah.
Do we need me to help with
there any way
moving?
I think
Here is what we are dealing with, this drop curb.
Yikes. Right, so is that dropped?
There's
Not
nothing.
at all.
No,
There is no drop
there's
anywhere.
No drop. There's a one like way back.
Well, let's try and get...
There's a drop on the other side.
Yeah, that's way back.
I mean, you can't really see it because of my shadow, so that's not very helpful.
Right,
Do you
let's...
want to just run on it? Okay, well, on your stereo. Right, this isn't the best drop, but it's probably doable. And now I have to do it perpetual, like,
You're basically 45 degree. Keep your hands on the brake.
where's the, oh, it's got brakes on the back, okay.
Yeah.
On it. This feels like the kind of thing that would be fine if it was like a bunch of boxes or something, and not like an actual living person who is pretty decent.
Yeah.
I mean, how can we even get past this sign? Right, it's cold time, lads.
Look how thin that pavement is. We get it, Lincoln. You're an ancient historic city. I think this is calmer because of the whole typhoid thing. Here, bin helpfully blocking the entire pavement. This is what Zarte has to deal with on a regular basis, and indeed so do the millions of wheelchair users in the UK. That's why we do what we do. And we're back to where we were.
Lincoln. And now I let go.
Ah! Right, pub time. We'll be back.
Hello folks, you may be noticing a little bit of a recurring pattern here, which is that we end videos, we say we'll be back shortly with some sort of conclusion, and then something happens. Yeah, in Kent we went to the pub and then had a few too many and then forgot, and in Lincoln we went to the pub and had a few too many, and then we forgot. Yeah, sorry about that. But it's all good because once more, Jen has sent me through a little review conclusion she's written. Once again, I pretty much agree with it word for word, which means I don't have to do any massive amounts of work myself. So yeah, I'll just read what Jen has put. When it was flat, Lincoln was relatively accessible, but its geography is completely unsuitable for wheelchairs, and it only gets worse once you add the city's antiquity, bobbly streets with tiny pavements. We recognise that that's not really the city's fault, but at the same time there's so much more that could be done. Put some drop curbs in. Don't put pillars in the middle of the street that make it barely possible for wheelchairs to get through. I would actually add to this, or make the pavements wide enough to get the wheelchairs on too at the start. Either or is fine. Don't put bins on the teeny pavements. I mean, yeah, this is just a general gripe with councils across the country. Why do you insist on bins being on the pavements if people need to go on the pavements? Just let people keep it slightly on their property and let other people use the pavements. Is this rocket science? Anyway, that said, and I agree with this, the people of Lincoln were mostly kind and helpful, offering assistance and alternative routes when they saw we were struggling. The people of Lincoln were incredibly helpful. So Jen has confidently given this a D. This is on our scale from A to U. I think, I really dawdle on this. I think D is the right outcome in the end, but I do dawdle on it because the city centre is so lovely and flat. Like, it's probably better than Canterbury's, and a lot of the issue is down to the antiquity and the terrain that can't really be helped. But at the same time, there comes a point with that where even if you're trying to just judge it on how well they adapt for wheelchair users, you kind of have to go, well, this could be fairly impossible. Now, we don't know what the bus service up to the cathedral is like. We're trying to do things, once we arrive in the place, by foot. So, we do our travelling reviews on the way to and fro. That's just how we're operating. Please let us know if the bus is really suitable and we can make a note of that. Anyway, Jen's additional comments. LNER need a disability focus group so that they can learn that their teeny doorways are nigh on impossible for wheelchair users to navigate. Correct. The staff at Newark North Gate are excellent. Correct. The works need to stop arranging books with the corners sticking out because it hinders wheelchairs from getting through the aisles. I mean, the works need a lot more work than that, but the fact that Lincoln was actually one of the more reasonable ones and I still found issue. I hate the works. And the dudes who sat in the companion seats and glared/belched at Zarte for having the temerity to occupy the space he is legally entitled to, and from that point of Jen's review, I can't really read anything else. Yeah, for the most part, I agree with the assessment. you know, I don't have so much issue with people sitting in the companion spaces in themselves, but if a wheelchair user turns up, don't be a pillock about it, and certainly don't belch in my face. That was repulsive. So yeah, I think, don't get me wrong, Lincoln's a very pretty city, the bits that we could see of it, but it's not necessarily the first one we'd suggest if you're going in a wheelchair or taking someone that is using a wheelchair or has any other mobility impairment and wishes to travel on foot. So yeah, once again, I will put Jen and and Mouse's actually Twitter tags in the little bit below, and also I'm going to be doing a couple of little short videos just on tiny 1-point things as I notice them, because there were a couple of things that I noticed whilst in Lincoln and I thought, oh, these would make really good shorts. I don't know what the next video is yet. We're definitely going to be doing one, I am, Jen won't be there, going to be doing one in Edinburgh next month, I think, but I don't know if there'll be one before that. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching. Presuming you're still here. I hope you're still here. Please love us. Until next time. Bye.